Okay, so in today's video about QNT, I'm going to check out this move on the upside and then this strong move down and see what is happening and can we still be bullish and what are the possible scenarios in here. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And as you can see in QNT relative to Bitcoin and also I would say a whole lot of other altcoins, we have been performing extremely well, and this to me suggests probably smart money is investing in QNT. And we talked about this subject before. The supply on exchanges were actually at all-time low and some buyers recently showed up, and I'm not sure, but they may know something that we all don't. So if you're interested about the news side of stuff, I think something is happening in here behind the scene in QNT. For me, what really matters is the chart and what are we doing at the moment. Now, in the previous videos, the idea was according to the bullish scenario suggesting the bottom is in here about $71. We are having 5 wave up into a wave 1, followed by that a correction for wave 2. And I was saying I'm hoping that we get a decent move up in QNT into wave 3 and 4 and 5. Is something changed recently based on this move on the downside? In my opinion, no, at least not yet. First things first, in terms of classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, this rejection is actually kind of normal because we reached to about this important region from, I believe it was weekly and daily time frame at the same time. Now, in my opinion, if we get a move up and go above it, do a pullback and then a continuation of the move on the upside, at that point, because the road up is going to be a bit more clear, we can expect our move up in a more ordinary fashion. For now, I can tell you we got a rejection off of this important level, but it's not necessarily going to be a bad sign. You see, I can say still this is 1, this is 2, and in the short term we are having, let's just do this, okay, 5 wave on the upside, and I have checked out the structures before. This can be like a 1, 2, 3 to somewhere around here, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, into a larger degree wave 1, followed by that a correction for wave 2, and then I'm hoping that according to this scenario, if it's going to be in play, and hopefully is going to be in play, we're going to get a decent move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5 in order to get back above this important level. So for now, this bullish scenario is still intact, and I think we can remain optimistic. Now, in the short term, I do not want to see in QNT a move on the downside, and for example, we do something like this, and in it, we take this low about, let's say, $84. Why is this thing so important? Because at that point, I'm going to say, you know what, maybe this is going to be like an A, B, C structure, and then, well, okay, unfortunately our correction in QNT may take a bit more time. But again, do not get me wrong, as long as we're not taking this low, I'm not really going to jump into that kind of unnecessary bearish conclusions. For now, I'm having my eyes on this important level and also on what is happening in the short term, and I'm hoping that we get a move up, and in that move we take this important high around $103. Why is that? Because so far to about the lowest low, I can tell you, look, this can be an ABC zigzag. Let's just do this, okay, something like this to about here. And I know you are going to say now that an important characteristic of a corrective movement is being slow and choppy, and this isn't, and I think you are absolutely right. That's why I would like to suggest to be a bit careful and watch the current move play out very closely. If we get a move up and in that move we take this side, at that point I would say this is probably an ABC zigzag. Again, what you do not want to see is a consolidation pattern and then another move down in order to take this low, because at that point, unfortunately, this is going to look a bit like, if I just take this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure down. And I'm not saying that we cannot be bullish at that point. No, we can be, and I guess, yep, you can argue maybe, I'm not really sure how, but somehow this is going to be like an A correction for wave B and another move down into our C leg in form of an expanded flat, but chances of this scenario being in play at that point is not really going to be a whole lot. So let's just say we shouldn't really take this low, about $84 in Quant, if we want to remain bullish with quite a bit of confidence. That, my friends, is going to be the extent of short-term analysis that we are going to do in today's video, because right now I want to talk about the overall structures and see what is happening in this area. Now, for me, and again, this is just for me, for the first time in quite a long time in QNT, I can actually tell you with quite a bit of confidence that the bottom is in. Why is that? That kind of comes down to the sub waves of this whole move on the downside, starting from the highest side about $170 to all the way down here around $71, because I think we may have a WXY structure in this region, potentially in form of a double zigzag. And let's just do this. Okay, you see, in a double zigzag, a WXY, we are going to have basically ABC zigzags into our wave W and wave Y. And for wave X, we can have many different scenarios. You can consider, for example, a flat or maybe a zigzag, or maybe even a WXY, possibly even a triangle. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. And for these ABC zigzags, sub waves are going to be like this. Let's just do this. Okay, 5 wave down into our A leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correction for wave B. Maybe ABC, maybe, yeah, sure, let's say like a WXY structure, excuse me. And then another 5 wave impulsive structure down into our C leg. And based on it, let's go on the live chart and count some waves, because now I'm actually seeing overall, in terms of, again, just midterm structures, some very optimistic signs. So we talked about this structure from this point to about here before so many times, and I think this can be an ABC zigzag, and the subways for it are actually very much clear. Let's actually go on H1 time frame and count them real quick. Let's zoom in more. Okay, so from the highest side, we are having 1, 2, and then another 5 down into wave 3, correction for 4, and this can be another move on the downside into wave 5. Let's change the colors to white so you can see it a bit better. Followed by that, this is probably an ABC, or maybe you can argue like a WXY on the upside. I'm thinking like this is 5 up into A, and then A, B, C, D, E, a triangle structure into wave B, and then another move up into our C leg. And from this point, this is another 1 correction for wave 2 to about probably here, I would say. Big move down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the downside into wave 5. Followed by that, I'm thinking we are probably having a starting from this low and ending to about here, an A, B, C in form of a flat structure, something like this. And then here's the thing, from the highest side to about here, I think we are having a 5 wave down, and let's zoom in more. Okay, so if you want to ignore this shadow, because this doesn't really exist in a lot of other exchanges, you can say this is 1, this is 2, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the downside into wave 5. Followed by that, I'm thinking from this point to about here, we are actually having an ABC in form of potentially a running flat structure, because from this point, this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. So, you know, makes sense to say that this is a running flat. And then from this high to about the lowest low, we are actually having a 5 wave down. And let's go on maybe like 30-minute chart so we can see the candles a bit better. Okay. So here's the thing. This is a 1. This is probably a correction for wave 2. And then we are probably having 5 wave down to around this point into wave 3, correction for 4. And this can be 1, 2, 3, 4. Big move down into wave 5, which got very much extended. And on a higher degree, well, okay, these are probably the sub waves for, you know it, an A, B, C zigzag. And even on a higher degree, overall, I'm thinking that we are probably having, we just said it earlier, a W, X, Y in form of a double zigzag. And by the way, a very important characteristic of a double zigzag is being actually quite a deep move down. So this definitely did the job. And again, because we are having complete subwaves for a WXY to about the lowest low, it does actually make me say in QNT, we have probably hit the bottom and we are looking overall fantastic and optimistic. And there is like a very, very good chance on a higher degree. This is like 5 wave up into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, and soon I'm hoping that we're going to get big move up into wave 3, 4, 5, which ended just in this phase. I'm expecting Quant to set an all-time high and take the highest high around $450. But again, like we talked about this so many times, I do not believe that we are going to stop there. We're going to go quite a bit higher than that. So in terms of overall structures in the midterm, I think we are looking beautiful and very much bullish. And in the short term, as long as we're not really taking this low about $84, I'm thinking we can stick with our bullish possibility, suggesting that this is a 1-2. But if you want to be bullish with a bit more confidence, just wait a bit more until you see a move up in Quant in order to get back above this important level and then pull back and a continuation of the move up in order to take this high. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Quant's price chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.